The adventures of being young, dumb, and bored. It's a familiar tale for many of us, isn't it? So, here's how the story goes. I'm in my early 30s now, but this tale takes us back to when I was a mere 19-year-old, full of curiosity and perhaps a tad too much free time. Like any bored youth, I found myself perusing the personal section of Craigslist, curious to see what mischief I could stumble upon. Now, I'd already dipped my toes into the waters of Craigslist Rendezvous once before, and let me tell you, it was an experience to remember. I had the pleasure of meeting an older woman who showed me a thing or two about life and its pleasures. It was the stuff of fantasies, the kind that young men dream of. But, as they say, lightning doesn't always strike twice, does it? So, there I was, scrolling through Craigslist once again, hoping to recapture that same magic. I chatted with a few women, but either they were too wary, thinking I was some sort of catfish, or I could see right through their facade. Then, amidst the sea of uncertainty, one ad caught my eye. Let's call her Sarah. Her picture was refreshingly normal. No excessive filters, no heavy makeup. Just a regular woman looking for a good time. No strings attached. She was after someone younger, clean, and interestingly, generous. Now, I thought I knew the lingo of online encounters pretty well. Clean meant no STDs. Safe meant using protection. You get the gist. But this term, generous, threw me for a loop. Back then, my naive 19-year-old self interpreted it as ensuring her satisfaction in the bedroom, making sure she got just as much out of it as I did. You see, I had this notion that most guys were selfish lovers, only concerned with their own pleasure, leaving their partners unsatisfied. So, with youthful enthusiasm, and perhaps a touch of ignorance, I agreed to meet Sarah. Little did I know, this encounter would teach me a lesson I wouldn't soon. Probably thinking, run as fast as you can. And trust me, looking back, I wish I had listened to that inner voice screaming at me to flee. But alas, there I stood, face to face with Sarah's brother, who conveniently appeared out of nowhere. Now let me tell you, encountering Sarah's brother was not part of the plan. I mean, Sarah never mentioned having a brother when we were chatting online. Alarm bells were ringing in my head, but I tried to brush them off, convincing myself that maybe it was just an oversight on her part. As I hesitantly stepped inside, the atmosphere didn't exactly scream, welcome. The living room, if you could call it that, was a mess. Trash strewn about, the TV blaring in the background. It was like stepping into a scene from one of those gritty cop shows, where trouble is lurking around every corner. And then there was Sarah, or at least the woman who claimed to be her. But she looked nothing like the Sarah in the pictures. This Sarah was, well, let's just say she was a far cry from the woman I was expecting. She apologized for her appearance, explaining that she was self-conscious. And yes, she was significantly larger than the Sarah I had seen online. Her figure filling out a long nightgown in a way that made it clear those pictures were not an accurate representation. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not one to judge based on appearances, but this was a stark contrast from what I had signed up for. Still, I tried to keep an open mind. After all, beauty is more than skin deep, right? And who knows, maybe this could still turn out to be a memorable night. But deep down, I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. The mismatch between expectation and reality was glaring. and I couldn't ignore the nagging doubts creeping into my mind. Yet there I stood, torn between politeness and a growing sense of unease. Oh, if only I had listened to my instincts sooner. And starts advancing towards me, her eyes narrowing as if she's sizing me up. My heart races as I realize just how precarious this situation has become. I mean, here I am, trapped in a room with a woman who's not at all what she seemed, surrounded by a mountain of trash and a swarm of cockroaches. And now she's coming at me with propositions. I stumble backward, my mind racing a mile a minute. How did I end up here? How did I not see the signs sooner? And most importantly, how do I get out of this mess in one piece? But then, just as panic threatens to consume me, a stroke of luck. Sarah pauses in her advance, perhaps sensing my unease. I seize the opportunity and blurt out some excuse about needing to fetch cash from my car. It's a feeble attempt, but it seems to give her pause. As she hesitates, I make a break for the door, my heart pounding in my chest. I can feel her eyes boring into my back as I flee from that nightmarish room, the stench of trash and desperation clinging to me like a foul cloud. I practically leap down the stairs, my feet pounding against the creaky floorboards as I race toward the safety of my car. I don't stop until I'm safely inside, the engine roaring to life beneath me. As I speed away from that God-forsaken house, I can't help but shake my head in disbelief. What a night. What an absolute disaster. But hey, at least I learned a valuable lesson, right? Trust your instincts, and always read between the lines, especially when it comes to online encounters. And as for Craigslist, well, let's just say I'll be steering clear of that particular corner of the internet from now on. Struggle to make ends meet. Desperate times call for desperate measures, right? So, when my ex suggested we try our hand at selling drugs, I figured, why not? It seemed like an easy way to make some quick cash, and Lord knows we needed it. We started small, dealing to friends and acquaintances, but soon enough, word got around, and business started booming. Before long, we had a steady stream of customers coming in and out of our motel room at all hours of the day and night. But as the money rolled in, so did the problems. We attracted the wrong kind of attention from both the law and rival dealers looking to muscle in on our turf. And let me tell you, there's nothing more terrifying than waking up in the middle of the night to the sound of someone trying to kick down your door. We lived in constant fear, never knowing if the next knock on the door would be the police or someone looking to settle a score. But despite the dangers, we kept pushing forward, fueled by the promise of easy money and the adrenaline rush of living life on the edge. But eventually, our luck ran out. One night, as we were in the middle of a deal, the police busted in and raided our room. We were arrested on the spot, handcuffed and thrown into the back of a squad car before we even had a chance to protest. It was the end of the road for us, the final nail in the coffin of our drug dealing days. We spent months behind bars, paying the price for our mistakes. And when we were finally released, we vowed never to go back to that life again. So here I am now, years removed from that dark chapter of my life, trying to move forward and leave the past behind me. But no matter how hard I try, the memories linger. A constant reminder of the dangers of chasing easy money and the consequences of making the wrong choices. So to all the young men out there, heed my warning. The allure of fast cash may be tempting, but the price you pay in the end is never worth it. Choose your path wisely, and never forget that every decision you make has consequences, some of which can haunt you for a lifetime. Consequences were far worse than we could have imagined. We had been caught trying to hide out in an empty room, but that was just the beginning of our troubles. The hotel manager wasn't exactly thrilled about harboring fugitives, and before we knew it, the police were involved. We were both arrested and charged with a laundry list of offenses, from drug possession to trespassing to resisting arrest. It was a nightmare come to life, and there was no escaping the consequences of our actions this time. We spent weeks in jail, awaiting trial, and wondering how our lives had spiraled so far out of control. And when the day of reckoning finally arrived, we were handed down harsh sentences that would keep us locked away for years to come. But even behind bars, the nightmare wasn't over. We faced threats from other inmates, violence at every turn, and the constant fear of what each new day would bring. It was a living hell, and there were moments when I thought I wouldn't make it out alive. But somehow, against all odds, I did. I served my time, paid my dues to society, and emerged on the other side a changed man. I vowed to leave my past behind me, to start fresh and build a better life for myself. And slowly but surely, I did just that. I found a job, got my own place, and started to rebuild the shattered pieces of my life. It wasn't easy, and there were plenty of setbacks along the way, but I refused to give up. Now, as I look back on those dark days, I'm reminded of the importance of making the right choices and staying true to yourself. Life may throw curveballs your way, but it's how you respond to them that truly defines who you are. So to all the young men out there, warm embrace of the library, my heart racing and my breath coming in ragged gasps, I quickly darted inside, seeking refuge from the unknown threat that had been trailing me. As I entered the familiar surroundings of the library, a wave of relief washed over me. I was safe, at least for now. But even as I tried to calm my racing thoughts, the encounter lingered in my mind like a dark cloud. Who was that man, and why had he been following me? The questions swirled around in my head, but there were no easy answers. I found a quiet corner in the library and sat down, trying to steady my nerves. My brother was still inside, absorbed in his studies, oblivious to the drama that had unfolded outside. I debated whether to tell him what had happened, but in the end, I decided to keep it to myself. I didn't want to worry him unnecessarily, and besides, what could he do? As I sat there, trying to shake off the fear that had taken hold of me, I couldn't help but replay the events of the evening in my mind. What if I hadn't made it to the library in time? What if that man had caught up to me? The thought sent shivers down my spine, but as scary as it had been, I also felt a sense of pride in myself for trusting my instincts and taking action to protect myself. In a moment of crisis, I had remained calm and focused, making split-second decisions that potentially saved me from harm. And as I reflected on the experience, I realized just how important it is to listen to that inner voice, to trust your gut instinct when it tells you that something isn't right. It's easy to dismiss those feelings as paranoia or overreaction, but more often than not, they're trying to tell you something important. So to all the young men out there, I say this: trust yourself, trust your instincts, even when the world around you seems uncertain and scary. And never underestimate the power of quick thinking and decisive action in keeping yourself safe. After all, you never know when you might find yourself in a situation where every second counts. Wow, what a roller coaster of emotions. From the harrowing encounter with the mysterious man to the heartwarming gesture of sharing a sandwich with your brother. This story had it all. It's a powerful reminder of the importance of trusting your instincts and staying vigilant, even in seemingly ordinary situations. I can only imagine how terrifying it must have been to feel like you were being followed, especially when darkness had already begun to settle in. But your quick thinking and decisive actions undoubtedly kept you safe, and that's something to be proud of. And let's not forget the kindness and generosity of your brother, who offered you his sandwich without hesitation. It's moments like these that remind us of the importance of family and looking out for one another, even in the face of danger. Thankfully, you made it home safely, but your story serves as a powerful reminder to always stay alert and aware of your surroundings. Trust your instincts, stay safe, and never hesitate to seek help if you feel threatened. Thank you for sharing your story, and I hope it serves as a reminder to others to trust their intuition and stay hungry for safety and awareness in every situation. Take care, and may you always stay safe and vigilant. Certainly, your story is a testament to the power of intuition and the importance of staying aware of our surroundings. It's incredible how a seemingly ordinary walk home from school turned into a heart-pounding encounter that left you feeling vulnerable and afraid. But through it all, you showed remarkable bravery and resourcefulness, seeking refuge in the library and ultimately making it home safely. And your brother's gesture of sharing his sandwich with you is a beautiful example of the love and support that family can provide in times of need. As we navigate through life, it's crucial to remember to trust our instincts and listen to that inner voice that warns us of potential danger. Your experience serves as a powerful reminder to always stay vigilant and take precautions to ensure our safety. Thank you for sharing your story and for encouraging others to stay aware and trust their intuition. May your experience inspire others to do the same. And may we all continue to stay hungry for safety and awareness in every aspect of our lives. Clissunf, a mystical creature that dwells in the shadows of forgotten forests, its shimmering scales glinting in the dappled sunlight. With wings like the whispers of the wind and eyes that hold the secrets of ancient worlds, the Clissunf is said to be a guardian of nature's mysteries. Legend has it that those who encounter the Clissunf are blessed with wisdom and insight, but only if they possess the courage to look beyond the veil of illusion and embrace the unknown.